What's up guys, my name's Clayton and today we're doing a full walkthrough on the V8 Miata. Let's do it. This is what I wanted, so that's why I did it. Because that's what I wanted. So this is my 1996 Mazda Miata, and it started out as a 1.8 liter with a 5-speed. And as you saw by the title of the video, it definitely doesn't have that anymore. But before we talk about the drivetrain, I just get asked all the time about the paint on this thing. And it's not a wrap, it is a paint job. And I just picked the color out of a color book, it's not from another car. And we did it a couple of years ago, we did the jams and everything, and I thought the color really suited Miatas. It's a nice, bright color, and I like it. So that's why I did it. So let's talk about the drivetrain in this thing. We built a small journal 327 small block Chevy with a forged bottom end that's been cammed, it's been ported and polished, it's got rollerized valve train, the pistons have been dry filmed and ceramic coated, it's been de-stressed and custom balanced, and it's built to rev to 7,500 RPM. On the engine dyno, it made 375 horsepower and 375 foot-pounds of torque. We haven't got a chance to dyno it to the wheels yet, but obviously it's going to be less than that. For the transmission, we used a Tremec TKO 600 5-speed. I had played around with the Muncie and Borg Warner 4-speeds, but just with the small tires on these, you really need the overdrive, so those don't work great if you're planning on driving it on the highway. Now, a lot of people ask me why I chose to go with a small block Chevy instead of an LS, because you know what, this is not actually an easier swap just because small blocks are easy to find. There's no support for the mounts, there's very few people who have done this, and you need to remake the firewall and the transmission tunnel. And you know what, at the end of the day, in almost any situation, you are going to be faster and make more power for less money if you go with an LS. But I grew up with these engines, I really like them, and I wasn't worried about doing something logical. And this is what I wanted, so that's why I did it. A couple other little things is that while we were in here, we did a full wire tuck and an engine base shave just to really give it that nice, clean look, and just since we had to do so much metal work in here anyways. And then also, it was really important to me that the car still looked stock from the outside, so I had to go with a low-profile intake and a low-profile air intake. So this is a Spectre 1.4-inch air intake, and then we also had to cut apart the hood bracing on the top, and it just fits under the stock hood just to give it that clean look. Talking about that clean look, let's check out the interior. So starting off, we put the hard dog roll bar in because I don't want to die yet. And then we reupholstered the seats, we put a new soft top in it, and then there was a few little things that I did that I snuck into the stock interior just because I really like the stock interior. So for starters, I put an exhaust cutout switch here that just kind of blends in. On that side there, I have a little button for my line lock, and then I made a shifter relocation bracket so that the TKO came out in the right spot. And then I used a BMW E30 shift boot and the factory shift knob just because it looks really stock. And then I was able to reuse all of the gauges with the 327. And then I think the only other thing we did in here was put the Nardi steering wheel on, and I really like the look, it matches with the interior, and I like the feel of a wooden steering wheel. And only other thing I'm planning on doing in here is putting the rev limiter gauge faces in. But other than that, this is like my ideal Miata interior. So to make sure that I can actually use all the torque from my V8, I went with a custom drive shaft and a Ford 8.8 IRS differential and some custom axles from Monster Miata. This way it won't just blow up on me, so that's good because I don't want that. Also, you can see that I only have one exhaust tip coming out the back because I didn't like the look of the dual exhaust getting dumped under the bumper. So I have dual 2.5-inch that comes all the way back to my exhaust cutouts, and then I got a custom muffler made with 2 inlets and 1 outlet just so I could get that look because that's what I wanted. So for my wheel and tire setup, I am using some really cheap, shitty wheels. These are XXR 536s. They're 15x8s with 0 offset. And I am going to be getting better rims. I just haven't done it yet because rims are expensive. But for the tires, I'm running Toyo Proxy 4s. They're 225/50 15s. which is a really tall tire for a Miata. But with this swap, you have very little ground clearance, and I'm squeezing every 1/4 inch where I can. And right now I'm only at like just shy of 3 inches of ground clearance. So I'm also running BC Racing coilovers, but since this is a tall tire with that coilover, this is actually as high as the coilover can go right now, which I know some of you would love to run, but I am very scared of breaking my engine. So I'm getting some custom shock tower spacers made so that I can space this up a little bit and then still have some adjustability in the suspension. And again, I'm aiming to have 2 3/4 of an inch ground clearance. So I'm running a square setup on this car, and this is not finalized yet. I'll probably still have to buy some different tires, but this is what it is right now. So that pretty much covers the whole build. I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, because we're gonna have this car out on the road in no time and you're not gonna wanna miss it. Yeah, I don't know, see you later.